Good morning, Uinta. So today we have a different subject to talk about. So first, I have a question for you. How many of you are hungry out there? How many of you love M&Ms? I wish I had enough money to buy about 5,000 M&Ms for this demonstration, or enough sanity to count out like 100 M&Ms per 50 something classes, but I don't. So we're going to just have to pretend. So I want you to imagine that I've chosen three students in your class. Let's say you in the back row on the left corner, you in the front row on the right corner, and you right in the very middle. So I'm going to give 18 M&Ms to Mr. or Mrs. Front row, front right, and I'm going to give 33 M&Ms to the back left person, and to Mr. or Miss Middle, I'm going to give you 61 M&Ms. So why did I give each of you a different amount? Any ideas? Remember, it's college week, so think about college, maybe think about education. Any ideas? Doesn't seem quite fair, does it? Everybody seems about the same. Why should some get less and others get more? So maybe this might make some more sense to you. If each little M&M that I gave you equals $1,000. So back left, let's pretend you have $18,000 and so on. What could that have anything to do with what we're talking about? Well, how about if each one of those counts for $1,000? Let's say you that have 18. $18,000 is about an average wage per year for someone without a high school diploma. Remember, average means a little bit higher, a little bit lower. This is right in the middle. For you that I gave 33, it's about average salary per year for someone with a high school diploma. And of course, we go on to the $61,000 a year average per year for someone with a post-secondary education degree or certification or some kind of training post-secondary. So if you kind of add all of that up over the total years that we work, which on average, scary enough, is what, like 40 years for some of us, that ends up being about $2.5 million a year. So that high school diploma ends up earning you about $2.5 million. So what could you buy with $2.5 million? Let's think about that for just a minute. So 13 Lamborghinis, a beach house in Maui, or maybe a ranch in Wyoming or Montana, 5,000 horses, of course, thoroughbred horses, right? 50,000 video games. That's a lot of video games. And I don't know why you'd want 5,000 horses. That sounds like a lot of horse, you know what, to clean up, but maybe you want that. What could you buy to help your family with $2.5 million? Who would you buy a house for? Or a car? Or who would you buy a whole new house full of appliances for? Or who would you pay off those medical bills for, or pay that credit card debt for? What about whose life could you change, and what could you do for our world with $2.5 million? What could you change in the world? You know, who, how many hungry children could you feed? How many homeless people could you help? How many schools could you build around the world, and how many children could you educate? Could you save the rainforest or be the one to fund global warming research? Could you be the one to fund research that's going to find a cure for cancer? Or are you the one that helps us have clean water or is going to save the oceans for us? So much can be done with the proceeds from an education. We all need to make the decision about what we're going to be when we grow up, right? So, what do you think about this?
When I talk to young adults before their first full time professional job and ask them what they want to do, half of them tell me they want to be doctors and lawyers, and the other half answer with some sort of exciting, flashy, reality show worthy occupation. In fact, I get the latter answer so often I call it the red bullification of the job market. And what I mean by that is that if it's not a job that's worthy of a Red Bull sponsorship, if they're not racing mountain bikes or singing from the stage or flying wingsuits or swimming with dolphins, then young people think that it must not be interesting work that they can get excited about. And of course, the reality is that's just not true. There's lots of people who do all kinds of jobs in all kinds of different fields and find it's work that they love. And when you look at it, those kinds of jobs have things in common. People who say they love their work has a job that pays the bills. It provides enough financial means for them to live the lifestyle they want. They think it makes a difference in the world. They're doing work that has meaning. And usually it involves some sort of specialized skill, something that they can do really well, that uses their gifts and that allows them to do the best that they can do with what they are able to do. When they find work like that, people love the work that they do. So when you're looking for jobs, you don't have to look for something that Red Bull would sponsor. Find a job that pays your bills, that you can do, that makes a difference in the world, and that will allow you to use your unique skills and abilities. A job like that's always worthy of your sponsorship, if not Red Bull's.
So we all have to decide what we're going to be, right? And how we're going to reach that goal. That's kind of what we want to talk about today is how are you going to reach that goal? So I was a middle school counselor last year. If I would have gone into a sixth grade class and said, how many of you are going to go to college? Almost every hand would go up every time. So, but why doesn't everyone complete their education? We find that about 60% start some kind of education and only about 30% finish it. So, what stops them from doing that? So, some of the things, I earn good money at my job. Good money to a teenager means something different to an adult. Is that still going to be good money when you have to buy food for the baby or you have to pay $400 a month for groceries for just one person? If you can buy some really great clothes now and a video game now, that seems great. But what's going to happen when you have to pay the bills? And where do those good jobs come from that pay the bills? You may be making great money right now, but that's not going to last. What about, I don't have great grades. I don't really like school. Why would I go to 4 more years of school? So I have an awesome thing for you. Uh, you may be in the wrong kind of school. Technology schools, community colleges, and certification programs may be your chance to shine. Your grades don't have to be perfect to get in. They're usually 2 years or less programs, which means less money with flexible schedules. And you're taking classes that are directly related to things that you do really great. Hands-on experience, quick turnaround to an awesome career. You know what? College or technical school is not high school. It's very different. At least try. I don't know what to do with my life. Well, welcome to the club. There are people out there that are 30 and 40 and they don't know what to do with their life. But you know what? College or post-secondary education, a technical school, that is all about trying out new things. So the question is, do you want to figure out what to do with your life while you're moving forward, getting some kind of education so that you can, figure out what you want to do with your 40 with a great job and or do you want to sit around a McDonald's or something trying to figure out what you want to do with your life? You might as well be going forward and finding your passion, doing that. This is my favorite one. I hear it here around here. My parents didn't go to college. They did fine. Why should I have to go to college? You know what? You ain't your mama, and this ain't 1970. So that worked. They worked hard for that, and they did great. But this isn't the way the world is now. It used to be that there were lots of people applying for jobs, and not very many of them had gone to college. And so they just chose, the applicants. They chose the applicant that they had. But now there are so many people that have gone to college that if it's between you and somebody who has some kind of training, they're going to choose the person that has some kind of training. And if you don't have it, you just won't qualify even for entry level positions anymore. So you really have got to go to school of some kind to be able to move forward. This is the one that we hear the most, no money. This is the one we're going to talk about today and focus on. So no money, can't afford to go to school. But this is kind of interesting. Tuition costs and fees have been going up everywhere, even in Utah. You see the tuition costs are going up here. However, you also see that the growth rate of college enrollment goes up. That's kind of weird. How is that happening? Welcome to the age of financial aid. Community college and work study options, scholarships. Many high school students today are aware that their parents can't pay the bills, but that doesn't mean that you can't go to college. You can go to college and you can afford to go to college on your own with the combination of scholarships and federal aid and flexible scheduling options. College is a reality for students who are really serious about gaining an education, and you can do it. And this is how. So let's talk about money. How does that happen? Well, the federal government gives out over $160 billion in federal funds every year. Last year in Utah, over half of the students who went to college got some kind of a grant from either federal or college. Over half, that could be you. However, $45 million in available financial aid in Utah went unused last year. Why did it go unused? Why did it just sit there? Because people chose to not fill out the FAFSA. So what is the FAFSA? Here we go. So what is the FAFSA and why should you fill it out?
More than 185 billion financial aid dollars are available to college students. These billions come from three main sources: government funds, colleges and universities, private sources. There are three main types of financial aid: scholarships and grants, loans, work-study awards. The most coveted are scholarships and grants. These are considered free gifts because you don't have to work for them or pay them back. Federal and state government grant awards are based on financial need. Some colleges offer scholarships based on academic or athletic achievements. There are also thousands of scholarships available from private sources, each with varying criteria and requirements. Take the time to research what scholarships are available that match your talents, accomplishments, or interests. Loans are money you borrow and promise, in writing, to pay back with interest. The federal government offers different types of low-interest loans to students with financial need. The downside of loans, low interest or not, is that you graduate with debt. Work Study is a federal program that offers students campus-based part-time work. Students receive a paycheck and can use it toward tuition, room and board, books, and/or general living expenses. The first step to qualify for government aid is to fill out the free application for student financial aid. It serves as your primary document for obtaining need-based aid. Private scholarship sources usually have their own specific application requirements and may range from writing a simple essay to demonstrating how you've made an impact in your community. Don't leave financial aid dollars on the table. Make sure you know what types of aid you qualify for and go for it.
So the FAFSA. Why do people not fill it out? Well, we hear it's too hard. Well, hello, that's why you have counselors. We can help. What we don't know, we can find out together. We also have experts who come out to help us to fill out the FAFSA, like tonight, which happens to be our FAFSA night tonight. We hear things like, I won't qualify anyway. My parents make too much money. There is no cutoff for federal financial aid. I'm going to say that again. There is no cutoff for federal financial aid, and you don't know what you'll qualify for if you don't try. Everybody is in different situations. Things like I don't have that information, or my parents won't help me, or they can't help me, or I'm undocumented, or there's a special situation in my family, or something's going on. Again, this is an absolute necessity to talk to your counselor. Often there are ways that we can help or ways that we can do what is needed to help you get the aid that you need. Again, you won't know until you try. in some circumstances, it's even necessary to fill out the FAFSA knowing you won't qualify in order to qualify for other assistance. Remember, there are so many different kinds of financial aid, grants and loans and scholarships given by the federal government, state government, colleges themselves, private institutions. You just never know what's available unless you try. And this is your opportunity to explore all of your financial aid options before making your financial or your final decision. So what kind of financial aid is there? Grants is the one we all love, right? Woohoo, free money, right? This is free money given by the federal and state government. It does not need to be repaid. The amounts are based on need, and that's determined by filling out the FAFSA. So for 2018 and 19, oops, that's backwards, Pell Grant, you can be awarded up to $5,920. And it could be as little as $400 too, but you'll never know until you fill it out. Remember that half of Utah college students received some amount of grant aid last year. Just a little hint too, sometimes if you don't qualify for the full Pell Grant, filling out the FAFSA also helps you automatically apply for college aid. And different colleges give out different kinds of financial aid. Utah State University has $2.5 million right now this year to give out in college aid. That's up from $250,000 last year. $2.5 million to give out. And how do you qualify for that? Filling out the FAFSA. Weber State University, if you get a Pell Grant but not the full Pell Grant, but your family makes less than $40,000 a year, you can fill out for the Dreamweaver program, which will make up the difference for that Pell Grant. Snow College has a supplemental educational opportunity grant. They will make up the difference. However, there's limited funds on a lot of these, so you've got to get in there quick and fill them out fast. Also, you may qualify for work study. What is work study?
Want to earn money while you're in school to help cover tuition and expenses? Work Study can help. Work study jobs are usually on campus and may give you experience related to your major. For example, English majors could work in the writing center, or chemistry majors could work in a science lab. Work study jobs are also available in a school's libraries, cafeterias, student unions, cafes, and just about anywhere on campus. Because they are part-time and offer flexible hours, work-study jobs give you time to focus on schoolwork. They're available to full or part-time undergraduate, graduate, and professional students. Getting a work-study job starts with the free application for Federal Student Aid, or FAFSA, which determines your eligibility for financial aid. The only way to apply for work study is to check the box saying you're interested in work study on the FAFSA. Be sure to complete your FAFSA early. Funds for work study are awarded on a first-come, first-served basis. Keep in mind that if you receive work study as part of your financial aid package, you don't automatically have the job. You still have to apply for work study jobs and go through an interview process just like any other job. To learn more about work-study jobs, talk to your counselor or someone at a college financial aid office. Or visit stepuputah.com.
All right, so work study is another option. So if you don't qualify for work study, well, back to work study quickly, you should always check yes on the FAFSA, even if maybe you don't want to do it. You can always turn it down. Helpful hint, however, though, if you have to work anyway at school, work study is great because the government does not use that income from work study to calculate your financial need for the next year on FAFSA. It does count money that you work from McDonald's, though. So this is a way to earn money without increasing your income for that FAFSA. So if you don't qualify for grants or work study, are you out of luck? No way. There's other options.
Meet Chris. He knows earning a degree will help him follow his dreams and lead to more opportunities. He's trying to figure out how to best cover college costs, but he's stuck on one question. Should he take out student loans or not? So, he's taking the time to research all his options. First, Chris applies for every scholarship he can find. Even a small $500 scholarship is $500 he won't have to borrow and pay back later. Second, he completes his FAFSA. This way, he'll know if he qualifies for grants and work study. Third, he talks to his college's financial aid office. They'll help him find aid available for students going into specific programs and majors. Fourth, he considers his future ability to pay back his loans. Researching starting salaries in his field helps him determine how much he'll make after graduation. Loan payments should be no more than 15% of your future monthly take-home salary. Fifth, before he takes out a loan, he takes time to understand the terms. When you sign a loan promissory note, you're agreeing to repay according to that loan's terms. In most cases, this means you'll need to pay back money you borrowed, whether or not you finish school or get a job after graduation. An informed decision is a smart decision. So be like Chris and understand your options.
So be like Chris and understand your options. Remember when I said that there's no cutoff for financial aid? Almost everybody will qualify for either a subsidized or an unsubsidized federal loan. No one wants to be in debt, and you are the only one who can decide if it's worth it for you to borrow the money. Be very careful and consider federal loans first. Federal loans usually offer fixed low interest rates and have more flexible repayment plans. So consider carefully, only borrow what you need, and always do your research, right? So what's next? Let's talk about scholarships. Sometimes we think scholarships are only available to the most active, the most brilliant, most talented students, and there are no scholarship opportunities for average students or even above average students who maybe lack exceptional backgrounds or exceptional financial need. But not every scholarship award is tailored specifically to the valedictorian, basketball star, future beauty queen, lawyers among us. There are scholarships out there for everybody. They don't come to you though. You have to be proactive and start searching early and applying frequently and trying for everything. And absolutely do not miss deadlines. For those of you younger students, start getting organized now. Start becoming active in your school and your community. Start working hard on your essay writing. Start researching anything that is special about you or your family or your area. Did you know that USU, Uinta Basin, and UB Tech have scholarships for Uinta and Duchesne County residents? That's you. You already qualify for a scholarship if you'll apply for it. There's a scholarship out there for everybody. You just have to find it and apply for it.
Hi, I'm Paige. Welcome to the salon. This is Mental Floss on YouTube. And did you know that if you attend Juniata College in Pennsylvania, you could get a scholarship for being left-handed? The Beckley Scholarship gives between $1,000 and $1,500 to the left-handed student with the best grades each year. According to a former director of student financial planning, the school doesn't even check whether applicants are left-handed. Very trusting. And that's the first of many weird scholarships I'm going to tell you about today. The Society of Vacuum Coaters Foundation gives out a scholarship each year to people entering or already participating in a course of study related to vacuum coating technology at an accredited institution. Vacuum coating, by the way, is when a thin coating is distributed onto something in a low-pressure vacuum. You can apply for the Chick Evans Caddy Scholarship if you've been a golf caddy for 2 years or longer. The Gilbert Roller Fund provides up to $10,000 for a person with an interest in the parapsychological, like seances or poltergeist activity. Only graduate students are eligible for the National Potato Council Scholarship. It gives out $10,000 annually to someone who's conducting research for the benefit of the potato industry. Does my quest for the best French fry count? The website scholarshipexperts.com runs some interesting essay contests for scholarships. The Zombie Apocalypse Scholarship gives $2,000 to the person who writes the best plan to survive a zombie apocalypse. And the Fifth Month Scholarship is for $1,500, and it's given to the person who writes the best essay about the number 5. At Carnegie Mellon, there's a $7,000 scholarship for a bagpipe student, which subsidizes kilts. The SAMI program gave scholarships to student athletes up until 2012. SAMMY stands for Scholar Athlete Milk Mustache of the Year, so the athletes had to be milk drinkers. The winners of the National Marbles Tournament receive scholarships ranging from $500 to $2,000. You must be between 8 to 14 years old to enter the tournament. Each year, the Michigan Llama Association gives a scholarship to a member of the association or the child of a member. The Top Turkey Scholarship Contest is held by the Culinary Institute of America. The winner gets $10,000 for writing the best recipe for Thanksgiving leftovers. Speaking of birds, the Chick and Sophie Major Memorial Duck Calling Contest gives out a scholarship to, you guessed it, the person with the best duck call. The Starfleet Academy, aka the International Star Trek Fan Association, gives out annual scholarships for things like engineering, medicine, business, and the arts. At the University of North Carolina, Greensboro, the Alice McCarver Ratchford Scholarship requires you to be a single female living on campus without a car. The National Grocers Association gives out an Asparagus Club Scholarship to an undergrad or graduate student who's studying something like business or food management with the intent of a career in the grocery industry. If your last name is Zolp, you're Catholic, and you attend Loyola University Chicago, you're eligible for the Zolp Scholarship. And something tells me you'll be the only one applying. To win the $20,000 American Fire Sprinkler Association Scholarship, you must answer a multiple choice quiz on fire sprinklers. The Bob Guernsey Scholarship Awards are given out to excellent paintball players. The National Make It With Wool contest gives out 3 scholarships every year between $1,000 and $2,000. The winners sewed the best garments out of wool. In order to qualify,
So anybody out there love wool or potatoes? There are scholarships for everybody. Where do you find those scholarships or where can you start? How about at our own website, unacounseling.weebly.com, under the More section and then the scholarships. You can find them there. So we've even done some of the hard work for you. So we've been talking about grants and loans and scholarships and work studies. Let's think out of the box for a minute. What about this?
By 2017, there will be about 2.5 million new middle-skilled jobs across this country, and not enough trained workers to fill them. These jobs don't require a 4-year college degree, and they all pay at least $13 an hour, sometimes much more.
What's up, Bo?
Joe Poole is just 21 years old, but he's already on track to make more than $100,000 in his first year out of college.
Just seeing firsthand how things are made is something that I enjoy doing.
Poole monitors the refining process at this Houston petrochemical plant, which produces plastics for everything from milk jugs to bike helmets.
How's 5 and 6 going?
It's a middle skills job that requires only 2 years of college, but employers can't find enough trained workers to fill the openings.
The demand is there big time. What we need to work on is the supply.
Houston's labor shortage permeates the shipping industry too.
Business is very good right now.
Martin DeCamp offers on-the-job training, health insurance, overtime pay, and even a matching 401k. And he still can't track down enough workers with the right skills.
You know, I could hire in this yard alone 25 welders and have them working within the week.
And right now,
Isn't that amazing? Have you thought about that? Middle level skilled employment. Right now, there's over 5 million jobs open in the US for skilled labor. And what about attending one of our amazing tech schools or our certification programs? There's a huge emphasis right now in Utah on these skills-based careers. We need you. If you're wanting to make your home in the Uinta Basin or in a rural area, we don't need 300 doctors or lawyers. We do need electricians and nurses and computers techs and builders and mechanics. And that isn't just a rural necessity, it's a necessity everywhere.
Around the globe, across the nation, and right here in Utah, there is a technology revolution. It is changing the way we all live and work and communicate with each other. We've all discovered one thing. We can't live without technology. It's a vibrant economy that needs an increasing number of students educated and trained in science, technology, engineering, and math, STEM. But here's an important question. What good is an engineer without a craftsman to build what the engineer imagines? What good is a technologist or programmer or scientist if they don't have the buildings and facilities to manufacture the computers, the chips, the equipment that drives today's marvels? For every technology advancement, there are dozens of people needed to help build it, support it, and get it out the door. Introducing the Utah Career Center, one of the most vibrant and vital training facilities you've probably never.
So for every engineer, they need about 10 engineering techs. And we have amazing facilities in Utah. Um, there's 5 million jobs waiting for someone to fill them, and it could be you. Technical college programs and certification programs are usually 2 years or less and much, much less expensive and have amazing opportunities for job openings all over the country. Cool stuff like being a drone pilot. At a conference last week, I learned about a welder who was also taking scuba certification. He graduated and now has a job at $78,000 a year. He's an underwater welder. He can only work for 20 minutes underwater and has to rest for 2 hours. He works about an hour a day, $78,000 a year. Not too shabby for less than 2 years of school. What about apprenticeship programs? Electricians, plumbers, masonries, the people who drive this dump truck right here at Kennecott Copper, these are all apprenticeship programs. So you start working and you're actually learning the career, but you're earning a percentage of your a percentage of your wage. So a journeyman electrician makes about $50,000 a year. You start out at 60% of that with insurance as you're learning your trade. That's pretty awesome. HVAC and refrigeration people earn about $45,000, plumbers about $50,000. So how do you get started in all this wonderful stuff? I will tell you. So is this you on the couch, or is this you, oh, you can't see, but is this you back here on the couch Wednesday? That we want you here Wednesday night, October 11th, for our college application and FAFSA night. Seniors come from 3 to 7 to get expert help with your FAFSA and apply to your chosen college. We even have waivers for Snow and Dixie and SUU. Apply for free. Everyone else come from 6 to 7:30 and get some amazing breakout sessions. Get started on your scholarship search. Learn about ACT prep and essay writing. For those of you who are interested in Regents, there's breakout sessions at 6 and 6:30. And then as an added bonus, we are giving away hammocks. Come and be entered in a drawing for a relaxing hammock, 1 per grade level. You have to provide the beach and the palm trees, but we will provide the hammock if you win that. And as an added bonus, it's time for surprise trivia. What does the first F in FAFSA stand for? Name one other option for post-secondary education if you don't go to a 4-year university. True or false, there's a scholarship for outstanding use of wool. And name one college you can apply to for free tonight. The first 2 classes to send this to Mrs. Rhodes will get donuts. So everyone have a great day, and we will see you all tonight at our college application night.